Here we go. Back to this.
Arguments are important because they're very important to getting people on board. But the question of hope is related to this, because if you see things as hopeless and you only believe the negative, you will never change anything. And so we just had the anniversary of the March on Washington and the much quoted, I have a dream. Authoritarians are very wary about dreaming, because you're not allowed to dream. You're not allowed to have not only critical thinking, but aspirations, because it's dangerous, because dreaming is very powerful. Hope.
And we're back. We're immediately back into it. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Authoritarians are terrified of dreaming and aspirations, which is why in authoritarian society, what you find is a compression of the economic ladder, an inability to have economic mobility, and a push towards an 85% median working class that then has an extremely low poverty rate of something like 5% and an extremely high extreme income and control rate of somewhere around 10%. They get to decide how society goes, and everybody else is pushed to the communist middle. Yeah, dreaming and critical thinking go abjectly against that. And notice that is the actual desired outcome of the Democratic Party, is to push people towards economic parity, to crunch them into the middle, to stifle the idea of explosive economic success. They don't like millionaire and billionaire miracle Cinderella stories, because those are unfair to the people who didn't get them. And they want to minimize the amount of disparity between the rich and the poor. It's amazing that this is being turned on the GOP. Where is the Republican platform saying do not dream and do not think critically, but uncritically accept everything we say and do? There may be a spot. So if I'm playing devil's advocate here, I'll say the GOP wants you to uncritically accept police authority, right? Back the blue, police are good, authority good. They want you to uncritically accept the classification of controlled substances and their ability to regulate that which is bad for your life. I think that's been demonstrated pretty well. And I think finally, the other thing that they want you to uncritically accept is the war machine, the American war machine, the Department of Defense, the defense budget. We need to be in all of these foreign countries doing all of these foreign wars. I think it's a fair criticism of the GOP to say that they have traditionally been somewhat social controlling on certain subjects. They've been mostly pro law and order and police, and they have been mostly pro military. Are those all inherently bad? Well, I don't know if they're inherently bad. I, as a libertarian, kind of disagree with like some of the foreign interventionism. I disagree with some of the authoritarian policing. But like, I'm not saying we're China or North Korea. I'm just saying I want it to be better. But I would take us over almost everywhere else. I can't think of what country I would prefer to test my freedom in more than the United States. But I always want it to be better. I want to push towards maximum liberty. And there's a difference. I don't want to push towards being the most liberty-centric country. I want to push to be the maximum liberty-centric country. Because if all countries have 3% liberty and one has 10% liberty, it is the most liberty-centric country on the planet. But that's only 10%. That's not, I don't like the relative categorization. I want to push towards maximum liberty at all times, which means I'm skeptical of the police, I'm skeptical of the police state, and I'm skeptical of the military complex that exists like that. But that's the main GOP hangups I can find. Now, if someone else is willing to put out there something that the GOP asks us to uncritically accept, I'm all nose and then with ears on it. But I'm willing to hear it. I haven't seen it. But I do know that the Democrats specifically have several fucking programs that are specifically non-critical. The COVID response is the obvious one. The education system. We've got the fucking critical race theory being a thing. How about LGBTQ? I don't want to call it respect or whatever, but this idea that LGBTQ civil rights are as important as any other civil right, or that this issue is as critically fundamental to personhood as any other issue. You're supposed to accept that uncritically. If you challenge it, you're a bigot, you're a monster, you're a hater. And why can't I challenge it? Why can't I just ask, like, why is someone's transgenderism equal to their race, for example? Like, why is that an equal civil rights issue? I don't think it is. Personally, I think those are of a different category and character. I'm not specifically saying anything should happen different, but for whatever reason, I'm just saying I don't think they're the same. But I'm to be told that the struggle of the unpenised who want a penis is the same as the black man in 1962. And I'm not sure that's true. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not. Like, I don't think it's the same category and character. And for one, everybody seems to forget that in the South, it wasn't just everybody who was racist, like the citizenry. The government instituted a legal system that was inherently and explicitly racially biased. Jim Crow laws were laws. They weren't suggestions. They weren't like community notes. They were laws of the states, mostly Democratic states. Fuck. Anyway, I don't know. I don't see it, but I do see it on the Democrat side quite a bit.